I'm not sure that I can ever really see myself living with a man again, but every once in a while, I will read a comment where I know beyond the shadow of a doubt, I will never live with a man again because you remind me of what it was like. True story. My live-in boyfriend from high school said, "My wife isn't born yet." I thought he was joking. Then one night, he thought I was sleeping and he was picking his nose and dropped his snot on me. Now that is completely repugnant and repulsive, and you would think, like, God, who does that? Well, all of us have lived with a man who does that. I lived with a man who did not see a need to lift up the toilet seat when he was going wee-wee stinkles. I lived with a man who once had a little bit of the poopy squirts in the shower and it clogged the drain and he didn't unclog it. I lived with a man who didn't see a need to wipe his little hiney if he was going to just get in the shower because he thought the shower was a bidet. And I didn't know this until I told him that I was, scrubbing the shower and I couldn't figure out what this stuff was. It looked like undigested food. I lived with a man who didn't see a need to cover his sneeze, which could be halfway okay if you're not in the line of fire, but if you're sitting across the table from him having lunch and he's just taken a bite of his cheesesteak sub that he put a little too much pepper on and he has to sneeze with the food in his mouth and he doesn't cover his mouth and it flies all over you and your plate and he just shrugs it off. You know what? The single tax is just fine with me.